okay, that's what I did, that's what I did, but you live with what you do and we move, right? But
So,
then, yeah,
so
say.
how do you process it? I would figure, knowing you, it's
Yeah.
probably the latter of just we move.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure. As in, life is you have one shot at life, and that's it.
real,
And
real,
no matter.
YOLO. Whether you
Okay.
vocalize like this, whether you're hung up or not, because I feel like those who vocalize it more are more so a warrior, because like sorry, more so a worrier. Enunciation is important.
English.
Yeah, 100%. But I do have a lot of friends also, like they vocalize their worry. I don't vocalize my worry.
So do you think it's a
So
good or bad thing?
I think it's ooh, never thought about this.
Start thinking, buddy.
I
That's what
don't
this
think
episode's for.
I don't think it's a bad thing
Yeah.
until the worry starts to eat you up and you don't seek help. So,
Okay.
like for my friends who do vocalize their worry,
Mm-hmm.
at least I know what they're thinking and I can step in and like cut off that train of thought if they
Yeah.
start derailing. But for me, because I don't vocalize my worry, I have to deal with it by myself. And there comes points in time where the worry starts to eat me up slowly, and then the regret starts to overwhelm me. And in that scenario, if you're like me and you don't reach out, it becomes very destructive. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think it's only bad once it hits that point. Yeah,
fair.
but before then, different people have different ways of like dealing with their own worry, their own regret, and own emotions in general. So
fair,
like
fair.
you do what works for you, but I think making sure that your mental health is well set and like well balanced on a day to day is more
course, yeah.
important to me than whether you vocalize it or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair. Okay,
Yeah.
wait, we've been talking in very like abstract abstract terms. So maybe let's ground it a little bit and also just
Sure.
to bring it a bit more, to give us a little breather. Maybe we can talk about also like what exactly are our what ifs, or like what do we think about that,
Okay,
that like
okay.
worries us a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, then it can also kind of ground this whole.
Well, I think about like there's a whole spectrum to what I think about. Yeah.
Lovely. I'm so glad
yeah.
you have a range of thoughts.
Right. Thank God. Like, I only have three, like two, one at the end of the spectrum and then one in the middle. Okay, I think
What
about
to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
real. Like, what if I eat toast for dinner? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but the what ifs that I do think about are like, you walk by a lot of Toto, 4D, and whatnot, and I'm of the age where you see, case in point, one end of the spectrum to another.
Okay.
I do think about like, what if like I struck the Toto one day, like beginner's luck. The first Toto that I joined,
Okay.
we do not condone gambling, just for everybody's. But like if you do gamble,
Yeah.
you will know what I'm saying. Like Toto 4D, I have yet to bet, but when I do bet,
Oh, have
and
you
my
not?
first-
Have you not?
No, I have not. Yeah. So,
Wait, why? Are you just like?
no, it's honestly like
It's like
nothing to
a-
do with like gambling or like my views on it. It's just to queue them long, and I like don't want to queue up. Okay, people got no time for that. Some people don't have time for that. So like I couldn't be bothered to stand in line at NTUC and like wait for the 4D queue to like shorten.
Okay.
So like, but when the day does come where like
It will come.
right where like I do actually join the queue, and let's say I win,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do with that bout of money that I just won?
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you do with the 1 million?
Wow. Live like the Wolf on Wall Street. No kidding.
Ooh, that's an interesting metaphor.
No, that's quite wild. Wait, there's a lot of things in that movie that are like quite illegal. But okay, no jokes. What would I do with that money? It's quite okay. Yeah. Last time I used to think like, oh, I'm gonna spend it on like a lot of luxurious things, and
Okay,
whatnot.
okay.
But I think over the years, the answer has become a bit more grounded and
Yeah.
therefore a bit more boring. I think like half of it I will invest. Let's say it's 1 million. Okay, let's keep
Yeah,
it
yeah,
simple.
yeah.
Half of it I'll invest so that it grows. A good portion of it I'll give to my parents.
Yeah.
My sister, my sister is doing fine. So,
You trickle down somewhere.
Yeah, like yeah,
Tough.
maybe a meal. Yeah, but I would love to give my parents a trip to, let's say, Europe or like just far away.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Because like I don't actually think like they've been on a lot of trips in their lifetime, yes, but I don't think they had a trip where it was not a work trip, where it was like just a comfy, casual trip to
Yeah.
Northern Europe, for instance. And I would love to gift them that in the future, and that's also something that I'm working towards. And I think like if I were to strike the Toto of 4D, that would help greatly in expediting these plans.
Yeah.
But that's for the family side of things. When I get a partner,
Yeah.
I think a good deal of the money will also go to that. Be it like, let's say for the long term, let's say wedding, honeymoon.
Wait, to that is crazy. Like,
What?
no, I thought you meant when you said partner to that, I was like, why are you referring to your partner as that? Then I realized you meant like in general for your
Oh, yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
I was like, that's crazy.
No. Yeah.
Okay,
I will
okay.
love my partner, no worries. Like, yeah, she will be a human and not objectified, okay? So,
Set the record straight.
yeah, that out of the way. Yeah, I think a good deal will go to that, whether it's like long-term planning or whatnot. And then like, I think I would have, funnily enough, like last time I used to make it a lot about me, but I think like
Okay.
now like only a small portion of the sum will go to my own pleasure.
Yeah.
And even then also it's like everything else, every aspect of my life will be covered with this sum of money first. Yeah. I used to think like I would just spend it all, you know?
Right,
But
right.
like I think I read enough books to know that long-term planning is
Yeah,
important.
when you
and
grow
whatnot.
older, you realize, shit, you actually
Yeah.
have to like think about more
Yeah,
things.
100%. Like, oh my god, taxes?
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah,
My
and, like,
mortgage? Ew.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a one end of the spectrum. What's your other end of the spectrum?
Wow,
I'm
other
curious.
end of
Yeah.
the spectrum. What if I had not done something that I deeply regret? So, okay. So let me give you an example of something that I've regretted a long time. So set the scene straight. Back in secondary school, JC, I used to be captain of the rock climbing team. And I wasn't a very good captain. This was coming off the back of like zero experience, a grand total of like 0 years of experience
Okay.
of being a leader, being
Okay.
in that leadership role. So I didn't really know how to act. I didn't really know what a leader ought to do, what a captain should do. And I based it off very stereotypical notions of like what I see in TV, what I know from like hearsay and whatnot, like, oh, a captain should be like, have his foot down,
Okay.
like call the shots for the whole team and whatnot, and not really care about like what I didn't really care enough about the welfare of my team. It was more so about like
Get
what
shit done.
operations, what operations do I need to do? Let's get shit done. If you don't like it, it wasn't like how can I help? It was more like, hey, suck it up. So that was like a very
It's giving drill sergeant.
yeah, that's
giving
quite
I am
sad.
commando.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
a very destructive and self-centered way of looking at leadership. But unfortunately, that's what I ran with. And I think there came a turning point where I think a month or two before our national competition, I injured my shoulder. I pulled it really badly,
Oh.
and I needed physiotherapy for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? But when I went for physiotherapy, the physiotherapist told me it looks really bad. You have two options. Option one, you either like go 90% intensity on your physiotherapy so that you can make it in time for your March nationals. I have two nationals, one in March, one in April.
Yeah.
So March nationals. But if you injure yourself in the March nationals, you are doomed for. You can't climb. You most likely can't climb again.
Okay.
So my climbing career, in that sense, will be destroyed, lah.
yeah.
But I will only be like a 60% wellness in terms of the shoulder for that March nationals. Then option two was we go like 60% intensity on your training, and then you skip the March nationals so that you'll be at 90%
focus for
wellness
April.
for your April nationals.
Yeah.
So, and I really only had like 5 minutes because that's all I had. He asked me this while I was like in a really weird pose, like doing my physiotherapy. So I was like, bro, I could have used a bit more time. But on the spot, I was like, okay, let's go with option two, where I skip
Okay.
the March nationals and I go for my April nationals.
Yeah.
And there's a multitude of reasons why, like, I wanted to continue climbing after.
Of course, yeah.
I wanted to give my best for the team. And I think like, if I go in at 60% intensity,
Doesn't make
that's
sense,
yeah,
yeah.
that's not gonna help, And I want my team to have to stand a fighting chance. And at that time, I really wasn't the best climber. There were a lot more people on the team who were better climbers than I was. But fast forward to the nationals, March nationals came. I set out. I was cheerleading for my team. I still came down and supported.
Yeah.
YMC. No, okay. So I went there and I told them, hey, I'm gonna be sitting this one out. I'll be cheering you guys from the sidelines. And so commenced the competition. And the way it works was there's an individual segment, yes, but there's also a team segment where everybody's score will be added up
Okay.
to accumulate and get a final score for the team. And then there are team rankings. So at the end of it all, my girls' team scored gold. Like we beat the rest. So like yay, right? I'm very proud of them for that.
Girl power.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
And then the guys' team, we came in second. We lost to Meridian JC at the time. Now it's TM. But after the whole competition ended, like fresh out of the ending of the championships, I remember one teammate came up to me and was like, "Why didn't you compete?" He said this to me, and I will never forget it. "Why didn't you compete? If you had competed, we might have won gold. If you had competed, we might have stood a chance." And I was like,
Shit, that's something
Yeah.
that's some tough
Yeah,
tough
and-
words to swallow, you know?
yeah, and that remained etched in my mind, and it was a very tough pill to swallow because I had my own reasons.
Of course,
But
yeah.
and it didn't help that he added on by saying that, like, you see, A and B, they're injured, but they still competed. They still fought. It felt like you didn't fight for us. And as much as that, like, you can say like, oh, that's not true and whatnot. If I really distill all my reasons down to its very essence, it really came from a very self-centered point of view. I felt like the way I saw it was, I wanted to continue climbing. I wanted this, I wanted that, but it was never really for the team. I may say like, I wanted to give it my all for the team in the April Nationals, but I could have given it my all in the March Nationals. At least that would have shown effort. And
Right.
that was a choice that I, to this day, still deeply regret. It didn't help that at the end of the whole competition, during the prize giving ceremony, we had to go out to collect our prize, right? So the female, there was a male captain, me, and then a female captain. Female captain went up to collect for the team. Really joyous, really celebratory moment. But when it came to the guys' team, where we had to collect our silver, I whispered to the female captain, "Could you go up for us instead?" And I told the whole team, "No, I think so and so should go up and collect, because you're actually competed. I didn't compete. It feels wrong for me to go up there." And they just pushed me up. They said, "Hey, you're our captain. Go up and collect." So I went up, and that was the very first time that I smiled, but didn't really feel the smile. I didn't feel.
Shit.
Yeah, it just wasn't a. It was just a very shitty moment for me to experience, because it should have been a very, like, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like that at all. And it wasn't because of my team. It wasn't because of that person who talked to me, but it was just how I felt about myself, how I viewed about myself. And that has become a very significant marker of how I chose to lead going forward. I don't think I'm a good leader to this day, but I do think that the choices that I make now are a bit less, hopefully a bit less self-centered, and hopefully my actions reflect as such. And just in general, the way I lead is off the back of that experience. So
So that's your other end of your
correct. That's
what
my
if.
that's my very emotional, very heavy what if I had done this? What if I had chosen something that would not have led to this much regret? And to this day, it still hurts to think about that scenario. So I still
do
don't
you
have
regret that scenario? You regret making that choice of choosing to go for April instead of
100%. Because in the April Nationals, I flunked the finals. Like, I made it to finals,
okay.
but I came in last. So that was like a double whammy to like, wow, my choice really was a shitty one. Like, as though the March Nationals didn't tell me it was a shitty one. This April one, wow,
it was
seal
like
the deal.
hit the nail on the head. Like,
Yeah, 100%. My head, hit the nail on my head. Yeah, so
But you would have
That-
not. I think this is obviously very specific
Yeah.
in context, and I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know. But like, you wouldn't have known. Sorry to say this, you wouldn't have known that you would have failed.
yeah,
the
yeah,
April.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
of course. So, but like,
You
I
mean like
think-
now in totality, when you look back at it all, you're like, damn, I should have just gone for the March one and just.
I think the choices that I regret the most are the ones that affect other people. If it were a choice that like, let's say it started raining, maybe this is a bit, okay, maybe like drop path.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit more gravity to it. But like, if I had chosen this job instead of this job, and I therefore wouldn't have wasted like years of my career for this, that wouldn't affect me as much as this choice that I'm speaking about now, where like I affected my team. I don't think it will affect me as much because it only affects me. But if my choice affects other people, especially when I'm in like leadership role, leadership context, I think the choices that I make then would lead to a lot more regret. Yeah.
That's very interesting you say that, because you say that you are now perhaps better and changed, but you said that you're more self-centered, but the choices that you regret seem to focus a lot on what other people think of you or how you treat other people.
Hence why I'm saying I'm a warrior. To tie it back to the whole.
But don't you think there's
topic.
this contradictory between you say you're self-centered, but sometimes you're worrying about what other people perceive of you and how you treat other people? You're not being self-centered, right?
I think we can talk about self-centeredness and other-centeredness in a whole different episode, because I think there's a lot more to unpack when it comes to my thinking on this. But I think as a result of that conflict in opinion or conflict in what I say versus what I actually think, that leads to a lot of worry, and that would that I think would solidify me as a warrior.
So the incongruence between it all
100%.
is the one that.
Yeah. So really the episode, and that is where we're gonna come to the end of this episode today. If you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, be sure to drop a like, share, and subscribe down. Wow, that was completely out of the. Sorry, I'm still reeling for like everything that I said to Charlotte.
He needs to like process it.
Yeah,
right,
100%. But once again, if you like this episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out all our other videos as well. We have a new episode coming out every Wednesday, 7 p.m. So be sure to check us out there on YouTube, as well as, where else can they find us?
They can find us on Spotify as well. We also do release our episodes every Wednesday at 7 p.m. You already know the drill. We also have an Instagram, which you can follow us on because we are hip and cool, just like that.
Yeah.
So you
Wow,
can also...
that's so millennial. Wow, okay.
No, I'm just making it clear, okay? So you don't need to worry because you can also keep up to date with us with other things on Instagram. You can yap back to us. You can stay up to date with all of our episode releases as well. And yeah, you can enjoy listening to us on YouTube, on Spotify, or keep up with us on Instagram.
Make sure to leave a comment down below. What have you regretted before? Could be your biggest regret, could be your smallest regret. Doesn't matter. Leave it down in the comments below. But with that, we hope next time you guys can take it from us. Bye!